Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back everybody.
It's a beautiful day. Boy, it's fabulous when we're only going to get to be like 85, maybe 90. I will take that any day. It's just awesome.
So nice to be able to be outside for a little while and not get scorched, not get drenched in sweat, not be miserable from heat, just to sort of exist in nature and in peace.
Absolutely. And nature can bring us peace that is something we can't get living in this world otherwise. The system that we find ourselves in is one of chaos. It's one of distortion. It's one of lack of harmony. It's one of competition and self-centeredness and ego. And all those things really won't bring us peace. You could gain the entire world in riches and still be burdened with a heavy heart.
Absolutely. And you know, the key to separating those things is to understand what is an aspect of just something that the Matrix has created for us to go down, these rabbit holes of nothingness, you know, these entertainment apps, all of these things that they have on TV for us to follow, policies, procedures. There's just so many things that they create in the Matrix to keep us busy, and that takes us out of our happy place, which is in nature, just existing with the trees and the plants and everything that we're supposed to be with.
So we were doing our morning mantras and then meditation, and we kind of do them in that order. The mantras, especially again when you're using Sanskrit, but you know, there's power in some other languages as well. English has been constructed such that it is in so many ways not a positive power. It doesn't give you the resonance, just like when you look to our music system and we tune to 440 hertz. That's not really in line with nature. So when we tune down to a 432 hertz frequency, everything kind of changes and comes into a harmony. Many people are recognizing the value of those solfeggio frequencies. Everything, again, if you looked at Tesla, the mysteries of the universe is all about frequency. It's all about vibration. Again, we are energy, ultimately. These bodies seem so substantial and so real to the point of, you know, they're being questioned as to whether we would exist without the bodies. But of course we do. We're consciousness itself, just having a temporary experience. When we allow ourselves to root and ground in the frequencies of nature around us, we can tap into things that are not just our monkey mind, our left brain, not just things that have been programmed in by everything we've read, heard, seen all day long, every day, going back to childhood. It's so important for us to reboot ourselves, give ourselves a positive reboot. And that could be done just by tuning into the universe itself. This system that we find ourselves in is a very chaotic system. It's an intentional chaotic system to keep you occupied. What would we possibly do if we didn't have to work for a living? If we didn't have to, you know, work until May to just pay the tax man, and maybe more with the IRS agents that Biden has hired now, what will we possibly do? Well, we would have the opportunity to be creative in our own way. And that's something that most people don't get. But yet, when you see those people that are truly happy in this world, it's not necessarily the people that have accumulated the most wealth, the biggest houses, you know, the fastest cars. It's people that are doing what their spirit wants. It's people that allow their hearts to sing with creativity and joy every day.
Mm-hmm. You know, that would be a good exercise for people to do, is to sit down and just think, if it were not for money, what would you spend your time doing? What's your passion? Which direction do you want to go in life? And sometimes, you know, we have to take money out of the equation to find that. And then still, we're so indoctrinated, it's still difficult. But I do encourage and invite you guys to sit down and find that thing that would make your heart sing, were it not for money. Very important.
Absolutely. I mean, that is a big clue as to what you're supposed to be doing in this life, because each life is unique. Each life has a particular theme to it that we want to achieve. I've shared with you guys that, you know, for myself, I always got by, but yet there was something missing, and I described it to my closest friends and family as there is always this hole, this strange hole in me that no matter what I tried, I couldn't fill this hole. And the hole was really just, I wasn't in contact with my higher self. I wasn't living the life's purpose that the higher self wanted me to have. And that purpose was not managing businesses. It wasn't doing sales. It wasn't having a house or you know, a new vehicle. It wasn't any of those things, not at all. No, it was all about helping others, teaching others, and being here at this time of the transition of the ages, which I always knew. I always knew. It was always in my memory from past lives. Now what I'm realizing, and from the higher self, that this life was going to experience, basically a part of this life was going to be really typical with everybody else's around them, and then something was going to change so dramatically you wouldn't even recognize it as the same life. And that's exactly what has happened to me, and that's the way it was supposed to be, because I have an appreciation now for living your path. And what did it take? It took giving up everything I had worked for, and everything I thought I wanted to achieve, I had to give up. And, you know, I did give it up, and I don't regret it for a second. And it's been a wonderful journey that's led me to have this relationship with a person that we've had many lives together, many lives. And that's why when Cindy and I met, it was like putting on, you know, clothes that are your favorite clothes, that it doesn't matter how ragged or torn or anything. These are your favorite things that make you feel more comfortable than anything else in this world. And it makes almost everything else not matter, because when you're in tune with somebody else on a spiritual level, when the higher selves of two people are in tune, then everything will flow, and you will be blessed. And we do know, and I'm touching on a couple different things I didn't originally intend to touch on, but just want to touch on this, that many people right now are going through periods in their life where they're finding that they can no longer be in certain relationships, whether that's a relationship with a job because of certain things, whether it's, you know, a relationship with family, friends. Could be your sister is your best friend, and now all of a sudden you find that you're on opposite sides of the track spiritually, so to speak. You don't see the world through the same lens, and you have to either struggle every day with not letting that relationship pull you down, or maybe you have to actually cut the ties and let that relationship go, because it's not going to allow you to be the best version of yourself. Being the best version of ourselves is absolutely critical, especially at this time and juncture. Because right now is when everybody is kind of at that point where you're going to find your purpose in this life. We're at that critical juncture where that aha moment, that realization. Now you might just know, you might not know what your purpose is, but you might know it's not what you're doing. And you're feeling uncomfortable, and you're feeling like there's got to be something that has to change in a big way. So many people are being faced with this right now, and we could bury it, but when we bury those emotions, when we bury things that give us distress and dis-ease, it does cause disease eventually. Everything in this world right now is accelerating. Time is speeding up. We're heading into the fourth density of existence, whether we're awake or asleep. So what that means is we have to grab hold of the reins and truly be co-creators in our life, even if that's going to be a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm. And you know, sometimes when it comes to relationships and different things, the relationship might be actually get better, and you might realize, wow, you know, I really am supposed to be in this relationship with this person. They are the one I love and I trust with all of my things, and I'm on this journey, and it's a little bit scary, but I'm glad I have this person in my life. So sometimes we run into situations with different jobs or different scenarios and other people. If we're not able to express ourselves in a certain way, that's where we start covering up emotions. And when we start covering up emotions, you bet they will absolutely cause disease. So we have to find a way to process those things out. And it'll work for a little while, you know, just doing the cheating thing where maybe you write them down. That's a really good way to express them, but that's not going to help in the long term. The thing to do is to find out the situation in which you're forced to suppress those emotions and unravel that until you find that piece of you that can speak freely, that can be freely, that's not stressed out. And if you are, you can talk about it, you can do something about it, because stuffing only works for so long. And the society that we live in, boy, they create situations for us that we have to stuff all day long, especially in a lot of the jobs that we have. And a lot of those jobs that we have, they're simply just keeping I call them parasites. They're just keeping the parasites in power. So that's why it's important to find out what does my heart want to do. And then we work toward that as best as we can. We're not going to be able to leap out of our situation, our job immediately, but the first step is to find an idea of what makes your heart sing.
Absolutely. And so what we're facing right now is also, this is a world that can't go on the way it's been. And just as an individual, if you're not on your highest path, it's the same thing with the world that we find ourselves in. This is a very, very sick, twisted system that is literally destroying the planet and all the life on the planet. And right now, the system is causing the earth and all that are on the earth to face the same thing an individual would face if the individual was not on their highest and best path for this particular life. And the system must go, because the system is the toxic reason this world is twisted and going through all the poisonous systems, structures, practices that are so just making it almost impossible for life on Earth to evolve in a natural way. And in fact, we see that the system is so twisted that it just can't seem to accept that life would want to evolve in a natural way, such as was planned by the architect of this universe. And you know, this universe does have an architect, it does have a creator, and that being is a benevolent being. To get to that point when you are truly what we would call a creator, and I hate using the word God because it's been so twisted, because you literally have demonic beings that have been called God, as well as, you know, various beings of all different natures, categories, densities, and levels of consciousness. There is one source again, and then there are the beings that help to manifest new worlds, which are all new places for consciousness to explore, because ultimately we are consciousness, we are energy. That energy can't be created or destroyed, but it is always changing, always evolving, always changing, never staying the same. You're not the same person you were yesterday from today. You know, it's a new day. There's new things coming into your life. There's old things that'll be leaving your life, new experiences. Every experience we have changes us. Every interaction changes us. So we're always growing, evolving, and changing. That's the natural order of things. And with this planet, the planet's going to purge itself of the system because it's not going to allow the system to destroy it. The system is a raging cancer upon the planet. And naturally, the planet will shake off the system because otherwise it's faced with its own demise and destruction. And then we have the whole ascension process where literally everything around us is changing. The virtual light from the sun is changing us and reawakening things that have been intentionally made dormant. So we are growing and realizing things that you can't unrealize. Again, when you're a kid and you discover Mom and Dad are Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and the Tooth Fairy all rolled into one, as much as you want to go back to sleep and forget that you realized this, you discovered this, you can't do it. Once you know something that is no longer a truth, you can't unknow it. It's changed you. And we are waking up to the fact that the leadership of the planet does not have our best interest in mind. Actually, very much the opposite. They don't work for the people, of the people, by the people. Everything we've been sold is a lie and an illusion. So how could this be allowed to happen in a universe that was created by a very benevolent being? Well, free will makes this a possibility because, again, nothing is truly set in stone. There are possibilities and probabilities, there are likelihoods, but there is nothing truly fixed. And, having the ideology that everything is fixed takes away from any sort of purpose in life in the first place. Because if everything is fixed, then why even exist? There's no sense in existing if everything is fixed. Thus, nothing is fixed. Everything is possible, and we can change outcomes. Even this system and the death and destruction of this system, it surely could happen much faster than the programmers of this negative matrix have anticipated.
So, what do we do with all of this information that we have that kind of makes us miserable, the life that we have lived, the frustrations that we have had? We have to have some appreciation for everything somewhere in our minds and in our bodies and in our souls. And I found that taking the appreciation of, I know now what I don't want. Boy, that took a while. It took a while, and it took a lot to figure out what I don't want. But I know now what I don't want, and the system has at least provided that for me. They made it very, very clear with me, what I do not want to engage in. So I think that's a good thing to sit and ponder. If you have time to think and write things down, figure out what you don't want. If you're having trouble figuring out what you do want, there's a process of elimination we can do. But it's very difficult to maneuver, to navigate, to figure out this world that we live in and what's the best direction for us. It can be quite a journey, but it's a journey still that it's been gifted to us for us to evolve and learn and thrive and grow together.
That was beautiful. So just to recap for those, because we still see the questions come up, how can I raise my vibration? Again, getting out into nature is a key one. Just take a walk with the dogs, maybe on the beach or in the mountains, in the woods. Perhaps take up, if you're not already doing it, a practice of meditation, of yoga, Qigong. Mind, body, breath is just imperative in these days. You should have some sort of mind, body, breath practice. Whether it's, again, yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi, Pranayama, any of those would be wonderful. You can devise your own practice. This is a period in time when we're not going to necessarily follow all these systems. You think about the way this world is structured. Well, I have a PhD or I'm a MD or this or that. We get all these different designations when we've soaked in enough material that we are recognized as something. You get these letters after your name. Well, where we're going, it's all about creativity. So it's not by becoming something that somebody else was and adhering to their system. And that's the same thing with Reiki and Qigong. And again, if you look at Reiki, well, Reiki is an energy system devised by Dr. Michio Usui. And, again, that's one version, but it's energy work. It's just simply energy work. It's using intention. You might view it as magic, technically, because what's magic? Magic is the art of basically having reality conform to the will. And so when we are visualizing, taking in life force into us and being a channel for life force to go into somebody that needs life force because they're sick or they have some sort of injury, and we start to visualize them getting healthier and stronger, it is a form of magic in a way. And whether we're doing Reiki or Qigong or Pranic healing, quantum touch, all these other modalities, there's so much healing that can be done in so many different practices. Labels, again, don't really matter. Learning a particular system, it's all well and good. But again, from any system you learn, you're a unique expression of source. So why not just take what works for you, discard the rest. If it doesn't work for you, don't get dogmatic about things, because dogma is exactly one of the ways they use to divide us. Oh, there is no way but through. Yeah, we know. We get you. That's all fear-based indoctrination. That shows when people make these statements, it shows a lack of being able to be yourself and conforming to what somebody else wants you to be. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Be unique. Be unique. Don't be a conformist. Be unique. They want you to conform. Simon says, mask on. Simon says, mask off. Simon says, you just got to get one ouchie. Nope, now you're going to get two. Nope, now you're going to get three. Nope, now you're going to get it every 90 days. Simon says, conform, be a robot, be a sheeple, be a slave. Ah, now we're getting there. No, you're not born to be a slave. You're not born to be a conformist. Be unique. Be you. Dare to be you. Don't just conform to what somebody else just wants you to be. That's not, the higher self talking there. Each higher self is unique. We're all unique. We have our own purpose for our life. That's something that we want to achieve. And many of us are here just to break up the system, because you are rebels and you are system busters and you really value freedom. So go for it.
Mm-hmm. We're definitely changing. We're changing from a system of policies and procedures to a system of intuition, where that intuition is rising to the top. So there are growing pains in that, because when it comes to intuition and understanding, things can be taken wrong. They can be not what you thought they were, but take that opportunity to stop and explore yourself. Is there a trauma, and is that why things look a certain way to you that might not be the healthiest? And if that's the case, well, we need to heal something. Healing our emotions is the best thing we can do for ourselves in this lifetime, and that means you need to give yourself a lot of good compassion, a lot of love, a lot of comfort, and just be good to yourself. Be very, very forgiving to yourself right now, because remember, they have kept us in this system for a long time, indoctrinated us since we were 3. And that says something. That says it's going to take a while to unravel all the trauma. And that's okay. We're here to do it.
So as always, guys, may you be blessed by the true creator of the universe, and may the benevolent beings be able to work with you and in you to help transform this world into what it will be, which is going to be a world of freedoms and uniqueness. Much love. God bless, and namaste.
Namaste.